Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the BYU Cougars, giving a quick preview for the upcoming college football season and what this team's going to look like as we head into spring ball. Now obviously BYU had a pretty good season last year, going 11-2, winning that bowl game against Colorado in convincing fashion, and they have a lot of guys returning. Obviously Jake Retzloff coming back at quarterback, you have LJ Martin at running back. That duo alone is probably the best quarterback running back duo we have in the Big 12 as we head into next season. Retzloff might not be better than Sam Levitt at Arizona State, but he does have his running partner coming back in LJ Martin, where Cam Scadaboo, he did have to leave Arizona State. Not only do they have their quarterback and running back returning, they also have their entire starting core of wide receivers coming back. You have Chase Roberts, Darius Lassiter, and Keelan Marion. Those three alone are very good, especially since they're all coming back, the experience they got last year, and you have a quarterback that's familiar with them. Obviously Retzloff coming back for another season. Now offensive line, you can see they got 2 transfers, but other than that, this is a pretty good unit, a unit that wasn't the best at times last year, and I think you improve by going out and getting these transfers, especially Andrew Gentry at left tackle, solidifying that spot as you head into the spring. So overall, this offense should be much better than it was last year. And you kind of have to assume it will be when you have a lot of guys coming back for yet another season together. And I think that goes for the same on defense, right? You lose a couple guys on the defensive line. You go out and you get Keanu Tanuvasa from Utah, a big-time defensive lineman out of the transfer portal, a really good run defender. And you're pairing him with a couple good pass rushers as well. And then at linebacker, you have Harrison Taggart coming back, who's one of the better linebackers in the Big 12 last year. He really shined, and when he got his opportunity, he never let go of that. Secondary-wise, once again, a lot of good players. Now, BYU at times last year, I think it's pretty fair to say they had the luck go their way, and their secondary got a lot of opportunistic plays, a lot of tip passes, just terrible throws by the other team, and they lucked into a lot of interceptions. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from these players because they do play very sound football. And they were a pretty good defense last year, and they're going to be an even better defense this fall. But like I said, BYU, they had a lot of things go their way last year. Will the luck be on their side, or will they even have to be more sound on defense? And they controlled that luck more so than the luck controlling how their season goes. Now, flipping it over to the schedule is what I really wanted to talk about, because it lines up very good for BYU. Very good. Your out of conference is very easy, and you should easily go 3-0, with the only tough game being Stanford, and Stanford lost a lot of players to the transfer portal. Really the opposite of you, to be honest. Roster-wise, BYU is far more along than Stanford is right now, and you have East Carolina and Portland State, so you could easily start the year 3-0. And then in conference, you avoid Arizona State, who won the Big 12 last year, and you also avoid Kansas State, who has Avery Johnson coming back, and you also avoid Kansas, who has Jalen Daniels coming back. So there's a world out there, or potentially you avoid the top 3 quarterbacks that aren't on your team in the Big 12, which is kind of crazy to think about. Now, with all that being said, you still have to play Arizona and Utah. Obviously, 2 very tough games, and then at Iowa State and at Texas Tech. Those 2 games are not going to be easy either. And then Colorado's kind of an outlier when looking at the schedule, because we don't really know what Colorado is going to be next year, right? Obviously, quarterback position, we have no idea what it's going to look like. Is Juju Lewis going to take the starting spot? And if they do, that means you're playing a freshman quarterback. Yeah, I think the fair expectation, if I had to put a number on it, I think 10-2 is realistic here. I think that's the expectation. 11-1, I mean, is even in question, right? Like we said, you avoid 3 of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterbacks in the Big 12 that aren't on your team. Obviously, Retzloff is a very good quarterback. Just has to cut down the turnovers. Yeah, in just about every game, you're probably going to have the better quarterback. You should have the better defense in a majority of these games. I'd say Iowa State, Utah, as we sit here right now, 2 teams that are going to have pretty good defenses next season. Yeah, I think 10-2 or 11-1 is a pretty fair expectation. Now, BYU fans, I want you guys to let me know down below what you think of your roster. Do you think you guys will go after any spring portal targets? I don't know what position you would really go after. Maybe pass rusher. I mean, maybe secondary. Never hurts to have enough depth there. Offensive line, I think you guys are set, and obviously receiver, you have a lot of guys coming back. Yeah, you guys let me know down below if you guys think you'll take anyone in the spring, and then let me know your record predictions as we sit here in late February, early March. And before you guys head out, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And with that, I'll see you all in the next video.